everybody, oh Mad Caroline. Man, it is like almost 3. I'm not even gonna make it home before Ted gets home. But just got done visiting with my sister and my mom, much needed, and now I'm heading home. I got some commission artwork I get to start tonight, so kind of excited about that. As far as like my personal training certificate studying, oh my gosh, you guys, I am struggling. I know that I put it 3rd in line, so like I said, nothing, it will not get moved in front of priorities of family and of fitness, but I feel like my fitness and family has really been over consuming, so it's okay though, it's okay, but I just got to figure out some balance. Yeah, but I'm learning a lot when I do get on. Like, I'm kind of excited when I'm learning because I'm really implementing it in my half marathon training. So I'm really pumped about that. I'm learning a lot about the body and fuel and how it uses fuel. So I'm pretty pumped about that. But I did want to jump on here because I had somebody send me a message about kind of coaching them as far as fitness, and I don't really feel comfortable yet. I just want to get certified. I don't know. I'm like I like to make sure I know what I'm talking about, if that makes sense. But I want to give you a little history about me as an athlete. You remember how I made the video and I said everybody is an athlete, and sometimes we just don't know it, but we all have an athlete in us. Well, the reason why I said that, because I want to talk a little bit about me and the history of me in sports and athletics. So I am number 6 of 7 kids, and there is a 5-year gap in my sister that's older than me and a 4-year gap with my sister that's below me. But I've got 5 siblings that are 5 years older than me and up, all right? And they had a different kind of childhood, so they got to be in sports and they were athletes. Like, my sister was in track and my brother was in football and track, and I had sisters that were cheerleaders, all that good stuff. So but like I said, there was a big age gap, and then when my dad passed away, I was like 9, so we moved to Ohio, and we were with my mom was with a guy that was abusive, and there was nothing, there was no extracurriculars, and he didn't believe in that. And then when my mom got with my stepdad, he was a farmer, and he truly did not believe in extracurriculars. You had to be helping on the farm. So yeah, as far as me, I never really knew I never knew if I was an athlete or not, because I just didn't have the opportunity to try stuff out. So I think a lot of us will label ourselves as not an athlete because it was not something we were exposed to. So this is what I'm trying to get to, all right? So when I started dating Ted, who is my husband, I was 15 years old, and he was an athlete. So he was a really good ball player, and he also was a really amazing wrestler, and he was actually 4th in state in wrestling, and he was such an athlete. I think what I love about Ted is he was an athlete, but he was so humble. He was I don't know, I was drawn to a good guy. I think it's because I seen my mom with some bad guys, so I was really drawn to a good and humble guy, and he was really humble. But I started seeing him, he was so into athletics, and I remember I was busy working and going to school through high school. As soon as I got my license, I was still helping on the farm, but I got a job. As soon as I turned 18 my senior year, I went full time. So it's it was crazy. But all right, so I remember my senior year, Ted and I we got engaged December of my senior year, and then we had planned the wedding for September after I graduate. So I wanted to lose 10, 15 pounds. You guys, I have never done any kind of exercise before that, ever. I just didn't. I would watch my weight, but it was usually done with diet and stuff. I was always watching my weight and what I eat from probably the age of 12, 13 on. But as far as like exercise, never really did it. So I remember my senior year, because Ted would always go out and jog in like the plastics for wrestling. So I remember I grabbed one of these plastic suits from Ted, and I went out because I'm like, I would love to lose 5-10 pounds before the wedding. And I remember I tried to jog, you guys, and I was like sucking air, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I kind of, thought, I don't think I'm an athlete, I don't think I'm an athlete. So kind of gave up on that. And I did lose the 5-10 pounds, but I did it with like really a low calorie diet, all right? So then it was, probably the first year Ted and I got married. We both worked as managers at a retail store, and we put together a softball team for the corporate picnic, all right? And it was from our store. So Ted was like, yeah, you need to play, we need so many girls. So I decided to play, and I ended up being pretty good. Like, I ended up like playing third base, and then I was pretty good at fielding, and I was pretty good at hitting. So I was like, whoa, maybe I am somewhat of an athlete. So then Ted and I were pretty poor. Like, we were pretty poor the first couple of years of our marriage. And we had some tennis courts down the road, and Ted goes, maybe we should spend some money on some tennis rackets and try to take up tennis. So I took up tennis, and I remember him and I were playing tennis. We were trying to learn tennis, and I remember I'm sprinting to the ball and I'm sucking air. But pretty soon we started doing that for our recreation because we really couldn't afford to go out. So pretty soon I really started getting my endurance, and then I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna try to run again. And you guys, I ran, and I was able to run like probably a half a mile before I had to stop to walk. And I was like, what? And that was just from playing tennis and sprinting, So I started thinking, wow, well, Ted was like, Caroline, you're an athlete. Like, I just don't think you ever had the opportunity. And I was like, he really embedded that I was an athlete, and really encouraged me when I tried new stuff. So that's kind of what opened the door to me to start trying different stuff. And I could have gave up on running because of that first time, but when I realized, when you haven't ever done a sport and haven't ever done conditioning, like, after I had my kids, watching my daughter and son in conditioning for soccer and swimming, you see that everybody starts off struggling and it takes a while to condition. But when you're not familiar with that, you don't understand that, if that makes sense. So I was like, wow, Well, I remember I kind of really started taking up jogging after that. It was free and we could get out and jog, and so it was pretty much tennis and jogging. And then I started buying like Tybo Fitness. I remember the VHS. Man, I'm getting old. And, I do that, and I just realized how much I loved pushing myself to the next level. And sometimes I feel a little disappointed that I wasn't given the opportunity to try some sports, could have been a contender. But anyway, so I just want to come on here because I get some, I got this email, and I've had a couple of emails in the past, that, I could never do that, and, what kind of things do they recommend, because they're walkers and stuff. And I think that's great, but I think that we try not to be fearful of trying something, and then if it don't go so hot, don't give up so quick, because sometimes we need to get ourselves in shape and condition ourselves to do better at it. But yeah, I just think all of us are an athlete inside, but we haven't given ourselves the opportunity to check out just what kind of athlete we are, I often talk to my son, and I talk a lot, and I remember he was like, Mom, I think a lot of us may have some really serious gifts that we don't even realize, because we don't try new things. things, and I love that. So yeah, so I just want you guys to know that this soon-to-be 50-year-old that is gonna run a half marathon on her 50th was not an athlete all of her life, or I didn't know I was an athlete. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm elite, or I'm definitely not, but what I'm saying is we all are capable of being athletic if we give ourselves a chance. So I just don't want you to give up, because like I said, I probably started running really where it was part of my life when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And then I kind of moved to strength training, I would say, in my 30s, but it was more resistance training. But it was just me trying out things, trying to push myself to another level. And I want to say to those of you who got to do sports in high school and stuff, and even Little League and that, you're blessed with that. But those of you that were like me, who didn't get a shot to do any of that kind of stuff, don't give up. Don't label yourself as not being athletic just because you never were given the opportunity to push yourself and condition yourself and try it. So get out there, no matter how old you are, and give it a shot, you guys. You're an athlete. All right, I gotta go.